Do you want to write better YouTube titles? Jake Thomas from Creator Hooks has discovered that really 99% of YouTube titles kind of suck. And in this video, he's going to be sharing 10 quick tips to help you write better titles so you can get more views and grow your channel faster. Here we go.
Welcome to the Think Media podcast. My name is Heather Torres, the host of this show. And on this podcast, we are helping you grow your YouTube influence and then turn that influence into a high impact and a high income online business. And if you're brand new to the podcast, I want to welcome you. We are everywhere that you can listen to podcasts as well as on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe wherever you like to listen to this type of content. And if you know someone who wants to grow their YouTube channel this year, this might be the episode for them. So share this with a friend. Well, on today's episode, we are going to be diving into YouTube titles. But before we get there, I wanted to let you know about a brand new class that we have available for you. If YouTube is your journey, meaning you want to grow on YouTube, then make sure you check out our free 1-hour YouTube class at thinkmasterclass.com. Sean Cannell, the CEO of Think Media, is diving into some of the analytics and the things you need to know about that are changing on YouTube this year, as well as why YouTube is the best place for you to be right now. All of that is at thinkmasterclass.com. Well, like I said, today we are jumping into YouTube, which I just love. And we're going deep into YouTube titles. We have Jake Thomas on the show today, and he actually did an experiment where he studied over 1,000 YouTube titles to see what people actually clicked on. This episode was so inspiring to me because it just reinforced how important titles are. Did you know that like 99% of titles that people put on YouTube, they kind of suck? And there's actually a formula and a system for what makes a great title clickable, which means that people are watching your videos. If you make the best video, but it sits behind a bad title and a bad thumbnail, no one's gonna click on it. So today, we wanna help lift the veil of that and help you with your YouTube titles. So let's jump into today's featured conversation.
What's up, Think Media Podcast crew? Sean Cannell here. I'm at Social Media Marketing World, and I ran into Jake Thomas, who stood out because he's wearing YouTube shorts. And so as you can see here, what a conversation starter with the YouTube logos on the shorts. But it was cool to run into Jake because recently Nolan Molt on the Think Media team actually made a video based off of some of his content that he teaches on Twitter about really powering up our videos. But I want to hone in on titles in this one. And Jake, the first one is challenging assumptions. What does that mean, and how could we do a title that does that?
Yeah, so challenging assumptions, you want to go the opposite of what people think. So that's going to make people stop in their tracks. And it's also going to make them have to click to figure out what they're talking about. So this example is stop chasing money, chase wealth. So, all right, I'm trying to chase money, I'm trying to work hard. But if someone tells me stop doing that, that doesn't make sense with what I already know. It's kind of counterintuitive, counter-narrative. So it stops you in your tracks and it makes you click to figure out.
And these become templates that you can use as well, Think Media Podcast. Stop chasing money, like stop chasing X, stop doing X, which could be polarizing in your industry. It's challenging, like you said, assumptions. Great. Number 2, ride the wave. The example is 20 Halloween candies you should never eat. What does ride the wave mean?
Yeah, so ride the wave is just like talking about what's going on now. Trend jacking is another one, news jacking, just talking about timeliness. So in this example, this was published right before Halloween. So you're talking about Halloween candies you should never eat. Everybody's thinking about Halloween candies. So just talk about that right now, and that's how you go viral. This video got 162,000 views. I think that most of the videos on that channel got like 5,000 views. So this did like 20 times better. So yeah, riding the wave of what is everybody talking about and thinking about right now.
That's great. And I think that we have an episode that you should definitely check out. Of course, we'll have Jake and other show notes on the podcast on tent poles, right? And tent poles will be Google Trends, the spike around, in this case, Halloween, or it could be Christmas, or it could be back to school, or it could be things like that. And so super, super powerful. Number 3 is move away from pain. I love this example. This biblical principle helped me escape the rat race. Escape and arrival's in there. What does move away from pain mean?
Yeah, so I mean, you could say like, how to do something, how to live your dream life, but if moving away from pain is a little bit better, like rat race, like that kind of that kind of makes me feel a lot of emotion there. I've got a lot of like kind of anger and like bitterness to the rat race. So if you say how to escape the rat race, then that's going to just help you, like, that gets me fired up.
Yeah, and the creator who understands the viewer best wins. So it's not just where does your audience want to go, what are their ambitions, but also what do they want to escape from, hence move away from pain. And this biblical principle helped me escape the rat race. And if you're watching this on the video podcast, or if you're on audio, I definitely check out the video version, because we'll have kind of some screenshots of these tips that you can benefit from as well. Number 4 is open a loop. Explain this one.
Yeah, so opening a loop is just starting a story but not finishing it. It's like creating a curiosity gap. That's kind of another way to word this. And when you start a story, everybody's they have like an itch to close that loop. They have an itch to close that curiosity gap. So they have to click to do that. So this example, why this was one of the most terrifying scenes in film history. All right, what is that film? So I got to click to see. You might say the truth about social media marketing world. That opens a loop. That starts a story. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to figure that out. What's going on there?
I love that. And I heard actually Jay Shetty speak at Traffic and Conversion a few years back about his favorite title formula and video format for his channel, which was, if you're X, watch this. Like if you're lonely, watch this. If your boyfriend broke up with you, watch this.
Yep.
And so there's something about this example, why this was one of the most terrifying scenes. What though? And so it's a great title formula of actually not answering what the video is about in the title, but opening a loop. So I have to click, so I have to see what is happening on the other side. Number 5, personal accomplishment.
Yeah, so that's just like a kind of like a flex. People are living vicariously through you. So this one was how I changed my body a lot in 6 months. That kind of lets me know, all right, this person did what I want to do. So now I'm gonna click and try to figure out what they did. It's all about just like showing that you have authority. I did this, and it just kind of you assume that they're going to tell me what to do. So I want to kind of I want to do what they did. So I've got to click there.
Yeah, and one of the things that this one really ties into is the thumbnail. And one of our favorite thumbnail formats is like at least 2 panels, which is like the before and after. So personal accomplishment, where are people, which is maybe where a lot of the viewers are, and where do they want to go. Omar has a great one that did very well, which was like how to fix bad lighting. And so the first image, he actually has kind of a frown on his face. The camera's all orange, or the lighting's all orange, and it's a horrible shot. And the second one, white balance is perfect, lighting's perfect, and he has a smile. So it's that transformation. I'm unhappy that my lighting sucks, and now I'm happy that my lighting is great. And I think that video is either about white balance or how to fix your camera settings. And in this case, you can actually see 4 panels. So transformation, which a lot of us on our YouTube channels are helping ourselves 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Who am I for? Myself 2 years ago, or where I was 2 years ago. And so what is some transformation you're probably still in the process, but what is some transformation you've experienced, which finally also kind of encourages to take pictures along the way.
Yeah.
I wish I had more photos for my social media of the early days of working in a cramped office. I do have this one. It's like all messy around me. And now we have a lot of photos, but I want to encourage you. You might be early on in your YouTube journey. Really cherish this and document this, because what people can relate to is the struggle. They can relate to, you might say, well, I'm not accomplished yet. Well, you're in the process of building that, but you definitely want that before photo so you can ultimately have that after photo. And so that's a really, really powerful tip. Number 6, refute an objection.
Yeah, so, if I want to do something, if I want to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, there's probably something that's holding me back, right? Maybe it's I don't want to be on camera. If you say how to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube without having your face on camera, then I have no excuse to not watch that. So just think about, I think you mentioned earlier, knowing whoever knows your audience best wins.
Yeah.
What are their deepest objections that are stopping them from achieving their goals, and then just kind of hit that in the title, take away their excuse to not watch, and also just empower them.
Yeah, and this is another great example. The example is how to grow your booty faster how to achieve X without pain, in this case without strength training. And it also is a 2-panel example, where you are and the ultimate result that you want to get. What's, to me, in the photo looks more like a posture adjustment and probably some Photoshop, which a lot of thumbnails, I mean, sometimes you maybe want to exaggerate an extreme point because you're after the click, but that's a really powerful one. Number 7 is authority. And the example is how U.S. military linguists learn languages fast. Explain authority.
Yeah, so authority, there are 2 parts of authority. There's one, this one, how U.S. military linguists learn languages fast. This is like a position. So, military linguists, they're learning something good. You might say doctors, how doctors lose weight, how doctors beat cancer. That position holds a lot of authority. There's a lot of proof there. All right, if doctors or if military linguists are doing this, then I can have faith. Like, all right, this probably works. The other way is like a specific person to use authority. So you might say, how Elon Musk started his first company, right? Or how Sean Cannell got his first 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, that would be huge because, all right, you're at 2 million now.
Sure.
You have authority that works for you. There's also, if we're going to go like drama, I read it was a book. I can't remember. I think it was Joe Sugarman's Advertising Week. But it was, we want to be like celebrities, we want to think we're better than them, or we believe them. So if you're talking about drama, I'm better than the Kim Kardashians or something, right?
Sure.
Like we want to feel like we're better than them. So that's a couple ways using a specific person or a position.
Yeah, and if you don't have to actually be a doctor, you might be just reporting on a report, a study, and thus it gives you a really powerful headline, and then you sort an authority reference to really back that up. So think about, of course, how you can incorporate authority into your content, Think Media Podcast, in your next video. Number 8 is expose the truth. And the example here is from our friend Sunny's video that is titled The Ugly Truth of Entrepreneurship You Don't Want to Hear or Don't Want to See.
So exposing the truth, there's a lot of controversy in there. I feel like I'm getting in on a secret.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to click this. Like, I got to figure it out. Like when we're kids, like, if someone's like, I got a secret, you're in kindergarten. Like, yeah, everybody's going to listen to it. Or like, even if you're hanging out with people and then like 2 people start whispering, everybody like automatically like looks to those people. So this is like a way of like whispering on Twitter or on YouTube is exposing the truth about something.
And it's really good. The ugly truth about your niche. What is the ugly truth about the photography business? What is the ugly truth about filing your taxes? Or whatever. Number 9, hit the extremes. This is a big one on YouTube. Explain it.
Yeah. So extremes, you're fighting for attention with so many other videos, and just kind of average videos or average topics aren't going to work out. So you want to do something extreme. This is inside the smallest apartment in New York City. So you have the smallest. You can do inside the most expensive apartment in New York City. I think it was Tasty. I made a 30-pound Kit Kat. So, that's extreme. That's 30 times more or like 60 times more than a regular Kit Kat. So just being extreme. And an easy way to do that is to label something as the ist. Smallest, weirdest, biggest. You could also do most expensive. Just kind of average content or average topics aren't going to work. So you really need to take it to the extreme.
Pair that with a powerful thumbnail, and you actually see kind of the template of some of the most viewed YouTube videos, kind of most viral entertainment content, clickable content. All right, number 10, make it weird. And explain this one.
Yeah, so people like curiosity is one of the most powerful emotions on YouTube, and making it weird is one of like the best ways to evoke curiosity. Just there's something about weird and strange things. I don't know, like this is how Zach Greinke became the weirdest player in sports. Like we just talked about extreme, like weirdest. You could also do like, strange things that something does that are normal. Just the word weird works really well.
Sure. Like I think about this, we live in Las Vegas, and a friend of mine, Jesse, is in the concrete business, and he comes to the concrete conference every year. First of all, I didn't know there was a concrete conference. Yes. Yes. And second of all, I didn't know that, like, what are you talking about? Like, is there that many innovations? But all that to say, if someone's actually in the niche, you are always fascinated about the weirdest whatever in your niche. Of course you are, because your niche becomes so common and average and boring. So even if it would be like the weirdest innovation in concrete, I got to know what that is.
There's so much curiosity there.
There's so much and just weirdest. And of course, that might take some research, some creativity. What would you say to this? We're not ultimately trying to clickbait.
No, definitely not.
Because clickbait would insinuate deception, but if it's being misleading. But the ultimate goal would be to have positive clickbait, which would be to get people to click, but actually really deliver on the promise in the title.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the difference. Is if you deliver or you don't, and that's kind of like why you need to come up with the title and topic first, so that you can actually deliver. If you think about what's going to make people click, like, all right, the weirdest player in sports, or the weirdest Instagram filter or whatever, you need to think about that first so that you can deliver on that. And that way, like, it's going to make people click. You might think that it's clickbait, but like, you're actually delivering on something that's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Jake, this has been an amazingly powerful episode. How can people connect with you and Creator Hooks? And of course, we'll link everything up in the show notes.
Yeah, go sign up for the newsletter at creatorhooks.com. When you sign up, you'll get a free ebook, the 10 viral video elements. And that's the best way to keep up with me. Also on Twitter at jthomas__.
And I also highly recommend, if you check out Nolan's video, he really kind of took some of Jake's tweets, and turned them into a really video kind of educating on that stuff. It's been cool to see how well that video is doing. So thanks so much for sharing this valuable content and really helping creators.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode and sparked some interest for what your next YouTube title can be. I'd love to know in the comment section on YouTube, what's your next video going to be about? If you're listening over on audio, we actually have a YouTube channel that we put this podcast on video so that you can watch it instead of just listening. So if you want to go over to YouTube and let me know what your next YouTube video is about, I would love to see you over there. And every single week, we love to share one of our listeners who have rated and reviewed the podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to let others know what you love about this show. Now, here's why it's important. When people look at different podcasts that they want to listen to, they normally read the reviews to know, is this even worth my time? And I'm so grateful for everyone who has rated and reviewed this show specifically and left such amazing reviews. This review is from Imagination 13, and they said, Think Media is the best. I'm grateful to have found Sean Cannell when I did, and Think Media. I joined the VRA family a few weeks ago and have made huge progress that I wouldn't have made otherwise on my own. Thank you, Think Media, for doing what you do. Well, Imagination 13, thank you so much for being a part of our family here on the podcast and being a part of the Video Ranking Academy family. That is our premium online course and group coaching community that you can join at any time. I'll leave the link down in the description below. But if you've not already checked out that free class, that's your next step if you're ready to go deeper on YouTube. If you're ready to commit to your journey and know that YouTube is right for you, you want to take that free class with Sean Cannell. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. Make sure you subscribe and like this video if you're on YouTube. Thank you to our podcast listeners on all of the audio platforms, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.